That's right, you don't want to miss that story coming in from that village in Bihar. But our top story tonight. While members of parliament have been busy feasting for the last 5 years in parliament canteens, an RTI query has revealed that they have actually enjoyed a total subsidy of over 60 crore rupees for the biryani, the vegetarian food and the gulab jamuns that they're having. Lawmakers have enjoyed a subsidy. Those are pictures in the parliament canteen when Narendra Modi was there. Their perks, remember, are over 1.4 lakh rupees a month is what they earn with their perks. The RTI reply shows that the canteens received a subsidy of almost 12 crores on an average in the last 5 years. That's 60 crores. And I'm going to now take you to some of those dishes. How much do you pay for your dal at home? Well, I'll tell you how much our MPs pay tonight. For a dal, they pay rupees 2 rupees for dal. How much do you pay if you go for vegetable stew to a restaurant? 50 rupees. MPs pay rupees 4. Boiled rice, 4 rupees again. Chicken sandwich, 6 rupees is what our MPs are paying. Masala dosa, 6 rupees. Where will you get a masala dosa today for 6 rupees? Mutton curry, how much do you pay? 100? MPs are paying 20 rupees for their mutton curry. Chicken curry, how much do you pay? MPs are paying 29 rupees, 3-course lunch with that gulab jamun. 61 rupees is what our MPs are paying. Just think about it. In a country where 20-25% remain below the poverty line, our MPs are having a feast. I want to go to Smita Sharma because I want her to tell me exactly, Smita, as I'm going to play those numbers, dal for rupees 2, 3-course lunch for 61 rupees. You're in a restaurant, please tell me, 3-course meal. Anyone will, what are the people going to say that if they get a 3-course meal for 61 rupees?
Rajdeep, forget a 3-course meal. In fact, I'm actually standing at this Rolls King. It's a kebab and a rolls joint in one of the busy market areas of Noida. Now, clearly, as far up 2 pamphlets, Rajdeep, of places which are not considered very high-end. One is of these, which is known for its biryani. The other is of Nattu Sweets, which is known for... One roti here costs 15 rupees as against the 1 rupee that the members of parliament are paying for, and taxes are not up, taxes are extra here. Similarly, for this other restaurant, 1 rumali roti and 1 tandoori roti is 18 rupees and as applicable. So if you were to walk into actually a slightly fancier restaurant where you were at least 14, what would the prices be? It's raining in NCR, so they are looking forward to, of course, favor those rolls. Hi. Are you a student? Are you working?
I'm working.
You're working?
Yeah.
Do you think that the amount of money that you pay out for eating out today? They get roti for 1 rupee, they get a masala dosa for 6 rupees.
For eating outside, yeah. The fact is much better that you said at home and take time. That is not available now.
Okay.
And the tax that you pay is almost half of the food that you order. So that's not something that...
Okay, we are having a problem with the line of Smita at the moment, but Smita, I'm getting the big picture. If a roti costs 15 rupees where you are, and take a look at what our MP is paying for a rumali roti, 1 rupee. If this is what our MPs are paying, ask yourselves, is this the time come for subsidized food in parliament canteen, at least for our members of parliament, to end now? Because is this the kind of subsidy that our Prime Minister, who says that subsidies must be better targeted, is this what he wants? Vegetable stew 4 rupees, boiled rice 4 rupees. Should our MPs be getting these benefits? Think about it. That's why I put this story at the top of the news. Hopefully the Prime Minister is watching. And I know that Mr. Modi feels very strongly, he says, about subsidies. Well then, Mr. Prime Minister, walk the talk, start with Parliament. Because those are not the prices which our members of Parliament certainly should be paying in this country. Okay, let me then turn away from our MPs to politics. Because this is going to become an issue which every day throws up a fresh embarrassment for the Bharatiya Janata Party. Lalit leaks is what we are calling it. Now, after maintaining a united stand over Sushma Swaraj's humanitarian gesture towards former IPL Commissioner Lalit Modi, as well as backing Vasundhara Raje, today a BJP MP and former Home Secretary R.K. Singh blew the whistle. Singh has raised objections over the help extended to Lalit Modi, who he today called a bhagoda. Now this is becoming embarrassing for the BJP by the day. Smita Sharma and Atir Khan report.
कोई भी व्यक्ति किसी भगोड़े की मदद करे ये गलत,
चाहे वो सुषमा स्वराज हो या कोई हो.
First big voice in the BJP spelling out a big embarrassment for the government, which has so far backed Sushma Swaraj for helping Lalit Modi on humanitarian grounds. This after BJP MP Kirti Azad's explosive claims, alluding that the expose was an insider's job.
First Kirti Azad and now R.K. Singh. Now BJP senior leaders might just be maintaining calm and composure on cameras, but clearly there is a divide within the party when it comes to defending Sushma Swaraj over the Lalit Modi row. While the BJP ministers and top office bearers are defending Sushma Swaraj and Vasundhara Raje in public as of now, R.K. Singh spells out, the man who has also handled Home Ministry files in the past, says that one cannot help an absconder and the law must be equally applicable to all.
Also facing fire for his alleged U-turn, Finance Minister confirming that the probe into Vasundhara Raje's son's transaction with Lalit Modi's company will continue. A clear deviation from his...
We as the Congress party have on legal, ethical and moral grounds asked for the resignation of the Chief Minister of Rajasthan as well as the Foreign Minister of India.
This is BJP government's biggest controversy till date, where the opposition is clearly not letting go of the opportunity and is waiting to strike harder at the right time. The question is, will Modi come to the rescue? With Smita Sharma, Atir Khan, Bureau Report, India Today.
Okay, the question I want to raise today is very simple. Should the Prime Minister of the country now break his silence on this issue? Because every day some BJP MP is speaking out, perhaps at times out of turn. Joining me now, GVL Narasimha Rao, National Spokesperson of the BJP, and Tom Vadakan, Spokesperson of the Congress. Mr. Narasimha Rao, spokespersons come on our programs, but we don't hear a word from the big two, Amit Shah and Narendra Modi. Why are they so silent? R.K. Singh now says, the latest to join the chorus to say that Lalit Modi should not have been protected by Sushma Swaraj and Vasundhara Raje. How do you respond? Why is the Prime Minister silent?
Let me correct you, Rajdeep. I think the party president on the very first day when these facts were highlighted in the media, the party president came out and addressed this question, and he addressed it exactly. I think he addressed all the angles that Mr. R.K. Singh has talked about today. The party is aware of
Please
of
tell
the
me, when did Amit Shah say what R.K. Singh has said? That Lalit Modi should not have been protected by anyone? I didn't hear a word from Amit Shah. When was this?
No. I think when the allegations of impropriety were leveled against the foreign minister, the party president came out and said the party, given the background, given the humanitarian consideration that was there at the request to get a travel document from the UK authorities, the government and the party at the highest level clarified that the intent of this assistance that was rendered was certainly which certainly had the bona fide intent, and certainly therefore the government and the party do not consider this to be improper at all. I think that was clarified on day one. So if individual MPs...
When a former Home Secretary, he's not just an individual MP of your party, former Home Secretary goes on record to say that Sushma Swaraj and Vasundhara Raje should not have helped Lalit Modi in any manner, is it not embarrassing for you? Are you saying these personal views do not embarrass the party?
No, you see, given his background, I think this is not I don't see this as a political comment. I think he had been an officer of a long standing.
Mr. GVL Narasimha Rao, you are tying yourself in knots.
Home Secretary.
You are tying yourself in knots tonight.
I'm saying, no, he is entitled. We do not grudge his personal opinion on this issue.
Okay. Okay.
We certainly think this is his personal opinion. And we think as a man who has served in the bureaucracy, he looks at this purely from a technical point. Whereas the party has seen it from a different angle. We think the intent
So
is
the
more
party,
important here than the technicality.
Party seems to be seeing it from a political angle, and Mr. R.K. Singh seems to be seeing it as a professional
Humanitarian.
angle. He seems to be seeing it as a professional.
Humanitarian.
From a
Humanitarian versus a technical angle.
humanitarian versus technical. Tom Vadakan, respond. Respond to what you are hearing.
What a folk tongue contribution, Mr. Rao. I'm always been proud of the fact that you think straight. But here, I mean, I've never seen you tied up in such knots. You say that Mr. Amit Shah clarified. All that he said was a clean chit for the allegations that were made. He gave a clean chit. Humanitarian issue and all that has been all blown off. Now, as to the question of Mr. Singh, what is he doing in a political party? He should not have been in a political party if his views are not political. Be what it may. You may contribute, you may call it, as spokesmen always do, say that it is personal view, standard procedural methodology adopted by all spokesmen when it doesn't suit us. I agree. We have a
What's
point
the
in
point
common.
you are making, Mr. Vadakan?
The point I'm making is, it is loud and clear. This is strategy number one. You have some people talking another tongue, and then there are people who are giving a clean chit. The objective is so that they show to the world that they are all very curious and they want to go in for justice. But this is all an eyewash. Now this whole business, now I proceed one step further. This inquiry about the SIT, that again is another big trap. To escape the reality that you have an SIT originally inquiring into it, you have tried to dilute the whole thing. Very great strategy. But the nation is
you're
watching
saying
you.
they're talking in a forked tongue. Your basic argument is BJP is talking in a forked tongue. You know, you've got Arun Jaitley, Mr. Narasimha Rao, on yesterday only saying that it was purely a commercial transaction between Dushyant Singh, son of Vasundhara Raje, and Lalit Modi. Today he says, I have not given any clean chit to this transaction. I mean, I need to understand. Do you believe that this transaction needs to be investigated? And who is going to investigate it? Is it the Rajasthan government which is run by Vasundhara Raje? Is it the central government which is run by the BJP? Who's going to verify the documents? Who's going to investigate it? You're tying yourself in knots, sir, today.
I think... No, Rajdeep, I'll make my position very clear.
Yes.
I think Mr. Tom Vadakan was a little ambiguous today. I'll make my 2 points very clear.
Yes.
On issue of foreign minister, it's a technical explanation which Mr. R.K. Singh has given, whereas the party has taken a political position looking at the humanitarian background. And the party believes, so the technical, while she may not have been right on the technical front, but the humanitarian intent certainly, I think, overweighs the technical aspect of it. Therefore, the party and government are unanimous in considering what Sushma Swaraj did was absolutely in the right. Second point, it is the enforcement directorate which has been investigating Lalit Modi. It is not the Rajasthan government, has nothing to do with this investigation. So the enforcement directorate had clarified that the probe is very much on. That this government, if we had a bad intent, we could have closed down all the cases against Lalit Modi. But this government is serious about pursuing all the allegations and all the cases against him.
How do you pursue a case when the Chief Minister of the state herself is under the scanner? That's my worry from a Rajasthan government perspective. But Tom Vadakan, the worry for the Congress is beyond the point. If you keep hammering at Dushyant Singh, the BJP is also pointing a finger at you and saying Robert Vadra. Then if today you say that Dushyant Singh's business deal with Lalit Modi must be looked at, they will say we want the Vadra DLF deal to be looked at. So you don't have the moral high ground. Please answer it.
Thrice it has been thrown out by judicial bodies. The High Court Delhi, the Allahabad High Court, the Supreme Court. PILs, not a single FIR.
So you are saying you are open to
all that has been thrown into the dustbin of history.
So you are open to a full investigation by the Haryana government into Robert Vadra?
Be what it may, but nothing. 13 months, what have they done? They use this any time there's an election, you find Vadra issue coming up. This is a jumla, like Amit Shah says. Whenever you want to say that you're bringing 16 lakhs into your pocket, they say, when you check out, there's no money. And they say it's a jumla. The same thing. So this is a typical election jumla, Mr. Desai.
Okay. You are saying it's an election jumla. Let me give you the final word.
The CAG.
Yes, Narasimha Rao, go ahead.
Does the CAG give jumlas? The CAG report had clearly indicted Robert Vadra's company for having made windfall gains and having not.
So am I?
Let me explain this word, windfall. He says it's this word, windfall. Mr. Rao, you should know the root word of this meaning, windfall. Windfall assumes a fortune occurring through an incident.
No. It's also the report.
It's a windfall.
The report talks about
when you explain a word, you don't need to go into the word meaning of that.
Let me leave it there. What I want from both of you basically is, I think what the country would like to see is an independent investigation that looks at both the Lalit Modi Dushyant Singh deals, and I stress the word independent, and the Robert Vadra DLF deals. That's the only way. Both the political parties should be open for that. And if you are open for that, Mr. Vadakan, you are open for that. You are saying that the Haryana government let it go ahead and investigate Mr. Vadra through an independent agency, and I hope the same applies to Dushyant Singh, because otherwise
I need a caveat in this.
Yes.
What they are trying to do now is get the black money SIT watered down by asking them to investigate into this issue.
You believe
we want an independent SIT.
Okay. Independent SIT now wanted to do the Lalit leaks case.
Yes.
Let's leave it there. I want to move beyond
SIT,
spokesperson. There are other big stories
SIT,
tonight. Thank you both very much.
SIT on black.
Let me leave it there. GVL Narasimha Rao, Tom Vadakan, appreciate your joining us. Let me turn to a story which I think for the last couple of days I've been battling to make the top story in my program. The mass killers of Mumbai have been tracked down. That's right, mass killers. Major breakthrough today in Mumbai's worst hooch tragedy in a decade. The main supplier of the killer brew, Atiq Khan, arrested in Delhi today. He was hiding in Delhi's Seelampur after the tragedy that till now has claimed 102 lives. Two women, Mamta Rathod and Agnes Gracie, were also arrested in Mumbai. They would buy the spurious liquor from one of the 5 accused who has been arrested earlier. Clearly, this tragedy is exposing a large-scale and highly organized racket.
The mounting death toll in hooch tragedy in Mumbai prompting action. Mumbai police carrying out raids in a bid to clamp down on spurious alcohol racket that has mushroomed in Mumbai. But even as the families mourn the deaths, the kingpin behind the racket is still absconding.
The Mumbai police has launched a massive crackdown to nab the masterminds of the killer hooch tragedy. But 4 people, including the man who is believed to be the kingpin, are still absconding. However, police have managed to nab the main supplier.
The Maharashtra government ordering an inquiry and suspending 8 cops from excise duty department.
एक समिति नियुक्त की गई है जिसके छानबीन करके उन्हें 3 महीने में रिपोर्ट सादर करना है और वो रिपोर्ट के अनुसार जो वो सजेशन करेंगे, जो सजेस्ट करेंगे, उसके आधार पर नया कानून भी बनेगा और उसके ऊपर जो भी लोग इसमें जिम्मेदार होंगे उनके ऊपर कठोर कार्रवाई सरकार करेगी.
But the state government action failing to cut ties with the victims' families. As the outrage after the massive crackdown, the cops suspect that illicit hooch makers are now brewing the potent blend on Mumbai's periphery. And with the deaths climbing to a staggering 102, who is to blame for the deaths of the innocents? With Munish Pandey in Mumbai, Bureau Report, India Today.
Let me go straight to our correspondent Vidya. She's outside the Malwani police station. Remember, that's the suburb where this happened. Vidya, you know, I'm hearing many of the family members saying the police was taking hafta. They were involved in this entire racket. That's coming across more and more every day that we investigate. So outside the police station, is the police aware that they themselves are part of the of this network, which includes bootleggers?
Well, Rajdeep, yes, certainly they know the fact that because of the fact that there have been 8 policemen from this very police station who have been suspended. There is a departmental inquiry that is going on against them. Apart from that, obviously, everyone that you speak to in Malwani has the same story to tell, that they had complained to police personnel earlier. The police personnel did not act. It was not just the police that they complained to. In fact, they had complained to the excise department as well. There were excise personnel who used to come here, take hafta from these people and vanish. They never came back to take any action against these bootleggers. And everyone here in Malwani knows this for a fact.
And is it true that the local politicians were also involved, that therefore this is an avoidable tragedy, that the police's role was known, the excise authorities were informed about it, but nothing seemed to happen? So am I to understand that at the local level, everyone was involved in some level, local policemen, local politicians and the bootleggers?
Well, certainly, when everyone here knows about it, it's hardly, amazing to find out, obviously, for the fact that the politicians would not know about it. Everyone in Malwani area knew about it. Every neighbor is selling, is a bootlegger. He or she is selling the liquor. It's just that for the last so many years that this was happening, it is for the first time that it turned out to be spurious and killed 102 people. And that's the reason it has become such a huge hoopla. But as of now, earlier, this never used to be the case. And that is why, in spite of everyone knowing it, no one did anything about it.
Well, that is the sad story that you're telling us there from Mumbai. It's clear that this was an avoidable tragedy. Unfortunately, no one acted in time, and which is why 102 lives have been lost. Vidya, joining us from outside the Malwani police station. It's a story we will keep tracking. Okay, let's return to divide over yoga politics. That's right, Yoga Day was on Sunday. We are now on Tuesday. But the divide is turning uglier by the day. Today, VHP leader Sadhvi Prachi has jumped in, saying those who opposed yoga are traitors and must go to Pakistan. Earlier, Maulana Wali Rahmani, the General Secretary of the All India Muslim Personal Law Board, sparked off a massive row when in a letter he asked Muslims not to practice yoga. He called Surya Namaskar un-Islamic and importantly said yoga was part of a Brahmin Dharma and Muslims now must come together and rally against it.
पूरे विश्व में योग दिवस मनाया जा रहा है. उन्होंने योग दिवस की बात अगर कही है और उसका विरोध अब्दुल रहमानी कर रहे हैं, तो मैं पूछना चाहती हूँ कि वो हिंदुस्तान का खा करके हिंदुस्तान में धार्मिक उन्माद एक षड्यंत्र के तहत फैला रहे हैं. तो ऐसे लोगों के लिए मैं कहना चाहती हूँ कि हिंदुस्तान में ना रह करके वो पाकिस्तान चले जाएं और ऐसे लोगों की हिंदुस्तान में कोई जगह नहीं है. इस समय वो विचार कर ले कि हिंदुस्तान में रहना है कि पाकिस्तान में जाना है.